Welcome to the wonderful wedding of Katie and Amy. I think we've all had a great time. Food and everything's been brilliant. I know I'm very proud to be here representing Katie on such a happy day. And I think what I'll do is, if I may, is just start with the thank yous, of which there are a few. First of all, thanks to everyone who's made it here today. And some of you, including both Louises, coming from as far away as Australia. Mandy and Colin, my sister and her husband from Cornwall, and both of Louise and Mandy were bridesmaids at our wedding, and the other Louise was Katie's great horse companion for many, many years, where we used to muck out stables every day next to each other. So whether you've travelled all those miles or whether you're from nearby, your presence means everything to us, so thank you very, very much. We'd also like to remember those that can't be with us. I'm sure we've all got friends and family that would have loved to have been here but can't be here. I know my mum and dad would have loved to have been here, but my dad passed not long ago. And whilst I'm really pleased we didn't have to bring him all this bloody way because he didn't know about he would have loved it. And a special thank you to all those that have worked so hard to make it a special day. Flowers, food, and all of those sorts of things. Easily forgotten, but very much well remembered. Thanks particularly go to Laura, who has been a constant support to Katie and us, tidying up all loose ends, and even joining as recently as yesterday to pick up a cake from Solihull. Beautiful cake, and always running forward. You really need someone like Laura when you're running a wedding. It's brilliant. And obviously, also our thanks go to her, who did an amazing job planning huge towards Gap, the head party that they all went to, which was apparently very good fun. Finally, Jen and I must thank Amy's family for welcoming Katie into your lives and all the things that you do and your circle of friends. I know that she values that very highly, as do we. So now let me just talk a minute about Katie. I literally have only got a little bit more to do. I won't go on forever. But it's right that I should just say a few things about her. She's always been my best friend, basically. A little spark, full of energy, mischief, determination, and as you probably all know if you know her, she's full of strong opinions, not all of which I agree with. But to be honest, I wasn't really around a lot when she was growing up. Jen did all the heavy lifting, Jen, my wife, and in that regard, most of the time I was on a long commute in and out of London every day, and that was sort of why I wasn't around. But once school and university were all over, and Dustin with a degree in law, which Katie hated every single moment of, and begged me virtually every month to pack it in, which I said she couldn't. She joined me in the bank. Nepotism goes a long way with this. She joined me in the bank, often sharing my journeys into and out of London. And it was on these journeys that we planned for my retirement in 2014, when we then, once I retired, did countless bike and climbing challenges all over the world together. We did Vietnam, Cambodia, where you dislocated your shoulder, racing a BA crew up a hill into Siem Reap, or Reap, whatever it's called. Jordan, where she got sunstroke and fish eyes, and leaving me to do all of the snorkeling on my own. And then we climbed in Norway, a brilliant holiday where we started off in the rain in the village, just waiting for some unknown person to pick us up in the Land Rover. It was really good fun. I loved all of this, and it was never very good for Jen. She had to stay back at home looking after the dogs, but we were very grateful for her allowing us to get out like that. But then the dreadful, awful day arrived when I had a phone call from Katie saying that she met somebody. She was only 34, I mean, Christ. So she met someone, called Amy, and that was it, I was done. And did gain another friend in AD, which is lovely. He's the perfect partner, I think, for Katie, as he gets her quirks, he shares her passions, and he's clearly very sincere in her love for our daughter. So now I'm handing over to someone who will cherish and support you as much as we have done. As a piece of advice, the last little bit of advice I'll give you, really is that as we pass our 45th wedding anniversary, being married is not about perfection, although clearly I'm not far off that. It is more about showing up every day for each other, and even when things get messy, and being each other's best supporters is the best thing. I know you will do just fine as you are anyway. So on that note, I'd just like to say to everybody, can I ask you to please raise your glasses to the health, wealth, and continued happiness of Mr. and Mrs. Wynn. Thank you very, very much. Cheers. I'd now like to introduce all the way from Wales, the wonderful Steve Black, who has been waiting so earnestly for this occasion. And coming back to a applause, particularly welcome Mr. Philip Wood.
Can you hear me okay? Yes. Well, my name's Philip Wood, the parent of this wonderful man that stood here, Adrian, and it's my pleasure, although it's not normal for the father of the groom to speak at a wedding, I've been asked to speak, and I'm very pleased to do so. And I'm going to tell you a love story today. It will be a love story, I'm sure. A lot of it. Some of it might be quite boring, because I'm going to go into quite a bit of detail about it, which could be a problem, couldn't it? Just looking at the lovely couple here. Here's Katie, pretty as a picture, yes? Yeah. And Adrian with a smile from ear to ear. There's a smile? Yeah. And it's very nice that we've got around a lovely couple, and I'm very delighted, as are the family, to see Katie join with Adrian. It's wonderful. Before I go on to the soppy, romantic side of things, I thought I might tell you one or two things about the two married couple, about the two people here. And I must say, first of all, that some of the things I tell you are based on hearsay from friends and family. I take no responsibility for the others there. And here we have Katie, as I say, pretty as a picture. She's like dynamite, isn't she? Those that know, she's a hurricane, Katie. The next national storm that's announced will be in Katie's name. Storm Katie. If she sees a field, she'll run across it. If she sees a road, she'll run up it. If she sees a mountain, she'll climb it up, Katie. She will. And Adrian's trying to keep up with her. I've done a bit of research about Katie's early life, based on what other people have told me. And she's been a prodigy from birth, really. But till the age of 5, she got a scholarship to Rodine. Do you know Rodine, the equivalent to Eton girls' schools? And in there she became head girl by the age of 12. She got 15 A-levels and went on to Cambridge. became the youngest and first female president of the union. Dedicated. She may deny it, but she's very shy about these things. She then went on to a glittering career in the City of London. She's generally viewed, her colleagues will tell you this, she's generally viewed as a legend in the City of London and an absolute icon.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you for the information. And within the Tatishik, she had various roles and got to the top of her tree in every one of these roles, to the extent that in, I think it was 2015, she was invited to become the Assistant Governor of the Bank of England. Under Mervyn King. There's no truth in the rumour that the 2008 national or international financial crisis and meltdown was Katie's fault. It wasn't. Nothing to do with Katie at all. She was then so well thought of that she was appointed Chief Economic Advisor to the Prime Minister. But the job didn't last very long. Her advice was very good, but the job didn't last long. As it turned out, the Prime Minister was Liz Truss. Her teaching career continues, and we expect great things of her. Now, my son Adrian, I do know a bit about him, so it's not all hearsay. He's a lad who went to attend with some of his friends here, Highfields School in Matlock in Derbyshire, and has excelled there mainly at chess, where he was school champion, I understand, and undefeated tennis champion in the final years until he played his father in Matlock Park and lost. From there, he had a bit of a stuttering start in his business life, but he's gone on in the manufacturing and light engineering industry in various jobs with all sorts of things like mass-produced doors, barriers, micrometers, bits of basic stuff to get it. And now, would you believe it? He makes jet engines for aircraft. God. So that's the very couple. I think Adrian is a man who needs a woman to keep him on his toes, shall we say. And Katie certainly goes for the job for that. You know, they've been engaged for about a year now, is it? It just showed how she keeps him on his toes. It's a romantic soul, and it took it to the top of a little mountain called Red Pike in the Lake District with a proposal. Got to the top, went down on one knee with it, being offered to Katie. Will you marry me, Katie? And she said, you'll have to catch me first. And she went running across all the top. He caught up with her in the pub afterwards. After
the gypsy way, Carl.
What?
The gypsy way.
The gypsy way?
Catch you married.
Catch you married. He caught you married, but he persuaded her to accept this proposal after some Cumberland sausage and chips in the pub afterwards. So I married a year later, and Adrian went on to be, well, in his younger days, he was very keen rugby player. Happy to have with us today some of the famous, or at the time, very successful, Matlock Balians Rugby Club. And he was a member of the club for years and years, really, along with our guest today. I'll have to be careful how I say this. His position was that of a flanker. Flanker, I said. His, my son Peter, the best man, and Peter, his brother, was also in the team. And by goodness gracious, he was a hooker. A hooker and a flanker. They were very well thought of. They used to, they enjoyed throwing the weight about, really, playing rugby. Adrian was in the well, we were both in the scrum, in particular Adrian, in scrums and mauls, was viewed by his teammates as a bit of a pest because of the close proximity. And there was particularly a nuisance at the showers afterwards. Weren't you, Adrian? Well, we'll go from there. There's no script to this. Katie's quite apart from her stardom in the City of London. Her sporting career was quite notable. Her equestrian career included winning the badminton horse trial at the age of 15. And funnily enough, second in that competition was Zara. Who is now Zara Tindall. So we became great friends as a result of this. Katie's royal connection. She became particularly, she was introduced to all the members of the royal family. And at that time, it was very useful to her in her second career as a tattoo artist. She received the royal warrant as the tattoo artist to the royalty, and all the royalty have tattoos from her. She had, as a result of her brief romance with Prince Harry, he bears a tattoo that says, "I'm a royal prat." Camilla has a tattoo. It says, "I am like all men, but I love children." This is quite nonsense. Who else have we? Oh, the old Queen Mother, our deceased Queen Mother, her tattoo said, "I love lots and lots of free gin." You enjoyed your trip over as a tattoo. So there we are. Now, we now come on to the romance. I'm going to bore you now with the history or the geography, if you like, of the River Derwent. Anybody know anything about the River Derwent? The River Derwent has a marked relevance to the rest of what I'm telling you. The river rises in the bogs, moors above Sheffield, the west of Sheffield. It then feeds into a reservoir system, the Howden Dam, the Derwent Dam, the Lady Bower Dam. It follows on through various pretty villages in Derbyshire. It ends up in Matlock, goes through Matlock. And further down the valley, it passes this building here and ends up 6 miles south of here in the Trent. That's pretty boring stuff. But now I want you to cast your minds back, rather, to the important date of 18th of November 2022. That day probably means nothing to you apart from these two. Just before that day, they each received an invitation from a mutual friend to attend was it a birthday weekend at a pretty little village called Darley Bridge, just is just north of Nottingham. And through that village runs the River Derwent. So they met at the River Derwent, and the rest of it is the history. Obviously, they got married. There was a lot of fate involved. The mutual friend need not have invited them. They both decided to turn up. They need not have turned up. They might have decided to do something else. But the fact is they turned up, and there they were on the date, each not knowing each other, and each quite happy with their lives as they were at that time. But there's one thing missing, in that they had nobody to care for. And they found each other on that date. Does anybody understand know about Rodgers and Hammerstein? Do you remember the song from Selma? Some Enchanted Evening. Think about this situation in Dowley on the 18th of November 2022 with the words of Rodgers and Hammerstein. Some enchanted evening, you may find a stranger. You may see a stranger across a crowded room. And somehow you know even then, that you're going to see her again and again. And that song was written for it in Katie. It was very well. So the River Derwent was when they were flowing by when they first got in love. And their love affairs have tried to continue for the last 3 years now, hasn't it? And it's been one series of dramatic, amazing adventures and enjoyment. All the world up mountains, running marathons, challenges all the way, and now we're celebrating their marriage. And what is flowing past this building now? The River Derwent. So it was relevant. Anyway, I think they're a lovely couple. Our family is so pleased that Katie's joined us. She's a lovely girl, and all the best to her. So, can I propose a toast to the bride and groom?
And then we bundled it in the hills, basically very relaxed way and still didn't get a blob of water out of the So, just like when I first met Katie, life was and is a whirlwind, and I do not want a bit of exchange. It's great. Never bored, never met a woman like Katie within, yeah, let's do it, let's do. It's refreshing, yeah, perfect for me. And appreciates me and me for some reason. I don't know, she doesn't. So, for a few full toast, a few thanks. Thanks to Jenny and Paul for raising such beautiful, well-rounded, perfect lady. Say lady. Yeah, exactly. Thanks to my family for supporting me and worrying about me and what each other what we do. Thanks to my dad for the grand bit of advice of sometimes you just have to jump off a cliff and see what happens. And I did, and now I'm just where I'm going to be. And most of all, thank you, obviously. Never in wildest dreams would have thought that I'd be so happy this time of life, doing the shit I'm doing. Mundane stuff is fun. Life's great. Don't turn it too much. Is to live life to the full, surround yourself with people who make you feel alive. So to continue with adventures and everything.
I'm not really too sure where to go with this now. I did have one speech, then two speeches, and then three speeches prepared, and I'm not really too sure that any of them actually, I'm actually valid anymore since a lot of the topics have been covered off. Sorry? Yeah. So, why are we here today? Well, we're here for Katie. We're here for each other. We're here because we're family. We're here because we're friends. He's a very sage man. Says we all complicate life too much. Ultimately, that's what it's all about family and friends. From time to time, maybe he's been a little lost, I think. And I'm happy to say that I don't know. Something happened when Kate came into his life. He's a completely changed individual. There's a zest and a kind of sparkle and a desire, whatever it is. It's kind of like it's not PCP. But no, I think he's rediscovered life. It's kind of like I don't think they've stopped since they first met. If you look back on Facebook, they've been to Morocco, Spain, Nepal, Scotland. Why Scotland? Well, France. Going to France again in a couple of weeks. And that's just together. It's kind of like they've been a few more places. So the pace of life is just incredible. And they certainly know how to live it. And I think that's what we should all take away from today. It's kind of like find what you love, cherish it, and make the most of it. I am the best man today. Am I the better man? Yeah, I'd like to say yes, but Aidy was he's the better sportsman. Cricket, rugby, tennis. I'm not sure chess is a sport. So okay, go with that. True. For somebody who bombed out of university his first year, is also more academic. speaker on University Challenge, so yeah, that's kind of most of these speeches. There are some things in there that I need. Well, it's almost I didn't realise. I found out this morning. There's also quite good singing. So I do get some enchanted evening from you. There we go. Lead alto at Derby Cathedral Choir, was it? Or was it just the school choir that was? Junior school.
3 years ago.
Yeah. There's meant to be a bit in the speech where I'm meant to roast the groom. That is not really my style. And to be fair, if you go and say, like, if there's any dirt to dish, he'll probably dish it on himself, because that kind of guy is quite open. Does he have a history? He's 48, so yes, he does. Does he have his vices? Oh, yes, he does have his vices. Is he reliable? Not his formative years, no. Yes, the post office thing that was suggested wasn't particularly reliable, wasn't it? Was he a bad boy? Is he a bad boy? Not really. That's my mother. I'd suggest he's more of a hedonist, and I think that's probably, fortunately or unfortunately, kind of a trait that kind of matches with Katie. That kind of shortly into their relationship, he kind of even I think we might have football or something, but he says, she's brilliant, she's just like me. And my reaction was, okay. In terms of when you first met, I think I was there as well. Was that? I was at the top of the hill before you, but that's I think Katie got quite a bit of attention that weekend. I think David's mind was first firmly made up from the first time he saw her. I actually thought that Katie was playing a bit cool, but anyway, we are where we are now. It's kind of, I think the analogy that I tried to think of is Amy was a puppy and Katie got a box of Bonios. It was trying to get into, but there was certainly something he was sniffing after anyway. But, yeah, that's why it is weird. Did you have 3 speeches or 4 speeches? So there's a lot of writing and not very good practicing, as you can tell now. I think I'm just going to wrap up. The one thing I did think about was their adventuring together, which seems to be a common theme. As I said, they're never at home, they're always out and about and doing various things, so kind of adventuring is their shtick, as it were. And so I tried to look up and kind of what some famous explorers thought about love. There aren't really many quotes, so I had to fall back on one from Ben Crowley of all people, so I'm sorry about this. But I think quite like it. His quote is, "To love and be loved is to feel the sun from both sides." And I'm happy to kind of go with that and would suggest that everybody raises their glasses. To AD and Katie, may they always feel the sun from both sides.